All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful that got there pushing his word and truth and their sincerity across the four winds. In the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who may have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today is a lesson entitled "Beautiful Growth." Okay, beautiful growth, and this lesson is inspired, as the brothers, Mississippi camp went down there to the brothers, in Bay St. Louis and on the coast, and you also had the Mobile brothers come fellowship afterwards. And, just that fellowship and observing, how brothers, are just growing in Yahweh Shai. Okay. And it's a beautiful thing to observe, to be a part of. All right. Because you have a lot of men, that, can turn the camera on and go into a breakdown and bring out information. Okay. And even, be edifying. Okay. But as we can see amongst a lot of men that call themselves teachers and leaders, there's no growth. There's no growth when it comes to growing in Yahweh Shai. Okay? And it's a difference. And the Lord is drawing a major separation. And it's to the point now, if you can't see it, there's a good chance that this ain't for you, man. Okay? Because as we've been awakened to who we are, we were supposed to awaken, so that we can grow. That milk, a child doesn't stay on milk forever. Okay, it comes a time when the child has to mature. Okay, because his body is growing, so he needs more substance. For that continued growth. And in the truth, it takes more applying these things real time for us to grow. Because that's where the true growth comes off camera. Because that's where we spend most of our time. So to really grow in Yahweh Shai, this has to be our life. We have to live what we preach, and apply these things, even in times of pressure, we have to apply these things, man, So let's go here to 2 Corinthians 5:17. It said, therefore, if any man be in Hamashiach, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new, and we always bring this out. And it said, all things become new, because everything that we thought, every perspective, every outlook that we had before we came into the truth, it was off. Even if it was in good intentions, it was off because it wasn't established, all right, on righteousness, man, of the scriptures. Okay? So this truth was for us to be really deprogrammed from Babylon and reprogrammed in Yahweh Shai. And it's a beautiful thing to see men, mature and grow into that, man. Brothers becoming leaders, more responsible, more balanced, brothers are becoming more patient, more disciplined. And you see these things, man. Brothers is elevating and how they do everything, man. How brothers study, how brothers eat, and brothers, working out, and the whole 360 of wisdom, because all that's a part of wisdom. Okay? Like you had Jake, that clown, Judah Maccabee, whatever his name is, talking about he's in the hospital because he neglected his health, teaching the truth. It's showing you that these men, all right, are not really growing in the wisdom of Yahweh Shai, okay, because it's 360. Wisdom covers everything, which we went into that the other day. We was going into that. So you go here, since I said that, this is Sirach. No, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. Okay. Yep, this Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, and verse, I started 27. It says, and being but one, and speaking of wisdom, she can do all things, all right? And remaining in herself, she maketh all things new. See, wisdom gives us a new outlook. Wisdom makes all things new. Okay? Because there's a much wiser way, all right, to exist in the earth than how we was existing before this truth. All right, and this thing is about continue to elevate, man. You know, as we go from just an example, you know, you come in, you stop eating, you know, pork, shrimp, okay, and then you stick to the Levitical diet, all right. Then it goes from that, you know, till you start incorporating herbs in the diet, you know. And you go from that, you know, brothers go from incorporating herbs to making their own tinctures and going on different fasts and intermittent. So it started off, you know, just, you know, not eating certain foods, okay. Then, you know, brothers elevate in this thing, man. You know, the brothers eat one meal, and these just examples, random examples of how, you know, in this truth, you know, we're here to elevate, to constantly elevate. Some brothers, you know, it's gonna, some brothers gonna sell in different areas more than others, but there should be a continual growth, all right, in all areas, man. You know, this is why we're here, because if we're, you know, wanting to be joint heirs, well, a king, all right, a ruler has to be extremely well rounded, man. Okay, extremely versatile, man. So we have all this wisdom, as I said, wisdom, all right, read again, Wisdom of Solomon 7:27. It says, "And being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new." Okay, so she can do all things, man. Wisdom, all right, is wisdom is always, all right, a part of anything that we do. Anything from the smallest to the biggest, all right, level, you know, wisdom has to be present, you know. So here it is. We have all this wisdom in the scriptures, okay. We have all this, you know, access, you know, to wisdom. All right, we should all be continually growing, you know. So off camera, on camera, you know, wisdom, all right, it should be always present. The scriptures say, "Let wisdom meet us in every thought," you know, and growth comes from applying the wisdom. It's repetitive, you know, because anything that's taking growth, if you want to save money, you have to do something repetitive, and that's put money back. If you want to lose weight, you have to do something repetitive, all right, and exercise and eat a certain way, okay. You want to, you know, anything that you want to do and grow in, it's repetitive. So we got to repetitively, you know, use this wisdom on a daily basis, man. You know, really let wisdom, because wisdom is molding us into Yahushua. All right. This is Wisdom of Solomon 7:27 again. It said, "Being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new, and in all ages," okay, every generation, enter. It says, "Entering into holy souls, she maketh them friends of the Most High and prophets," man. Okay, so the wisdom, true wisdom, all right, is going to always enter into the prophets, man. Okay, and we see in this time, wisdom has entered into the Lord's men, and you can tell by the going back to the reasoning of a man. You know, the brother Watazop, he kept he kept making that point. You know, the brother on the coast, and he kept making the point that you know, the reasoning of a man, you know, in trial, like the trial show you the reasoning of a man. All right, so every day is a trial, you know, and reasoning has to be applied in daily situations, man. So the reasoning of a man is exposed through trials, man, and which is their daily life. Okay, so as you look at these guys that call themselves teachers and leaders, well, look at their reasoning, look at their action, not what they can, not what they can do on camera, but look at their off-camera decision making. That's where the growth is at, man. Okay, that's where the true growth is at, man. Because I say, just being around, you know, all them brothers in one setting, and just, you know, kicking with brothers and those conversations, and you know what brothers is on, what they doing now, you know, they different regiments that they own, and how brothers talking and brothers viewpoint, and you see how brothers operating day to day. You just see that beautiful growth, man. You know, you see the growth you see off camera, okay, and it's a beautiful thing. Now, Um, let's get that here. All right. Book of Romans, chapter 8 and 29. All right. And what helps us really grow is when we understand our purpose. Okay. So when you go to Romans 8 and Romans 8 and 29, it says, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Okay? So there was already men predestined, okay, to awaken to this truth in these latter times and begin to conform to Yahushua. And that's the purpose why we're here. We was born in this lifetime, all right, to wake up to who we are, to teach this word and be conformed to Yahushua, man, as we teach, man, you know, to really get into the scriptures. Because the scriptures say that what the Bible is instructions of righteousness, man. Okay? So we have instructions for our day to day, you know, and as we apply these instructions daily, we begin to grow. This becomes who we are, man, you know. So we have to understand the purpose, okay, that we're here. You know, Eliashua Wamba, he goes into that like, man, the purpose the reason why we're here, the reason why we was birthed into the earth in this age was to conform to Yahushua, because we had to be perfected through suffering. See, this is the last phase, okay, of us suffering before we're perfected. So we had to be born in this hell, but we will get this wisdom, so to apply this wisdom in this hell while we're suffering, and it's refining us to be likened unto Yahushua. This is why we're here. This is the assignment. Everything else, you know, is extra, but the assignment is being refined, all right, until we're likened unto Yahushua, man. You know, and it's a process. It's a daily process. Constantly, you know, that's why you got new things happening, unexpected things happening, and these things are happening so we can apply the wisdom, okay? And as we apply the wisdom, okay, we grow in character, we grow in experience, we grow in knowledge, we grow in balance, patience, we grow in these things, man. You know, so that was the point, you know, just wanted to go into that, Lord will, you brothers. All right, and you sisters are edified. Till next time I say shalom.